Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to your energy forecast for the week of October 5th through October 11th. I'm Porcha from Soul Card Studio. Each week I bring you a blend of astrology, numerology, and cardology to help you stay aligned. This week is week 41. Y'all, look, we got 11 more weeks left in this year, and week 41 is guided by the Two of Spades. Now, this is a card that speaks to partnership, balance, and finding harmony between effort and rest. So let's explore how this influence shows up for you this week. Alrighty, let's dive into the astrology part of the week here. So what we have going on, of course, we know the sun is still in Libra. And with the sun in Libra, we're spotlighting balance, fairness, and relationships this week. And also the moon will travel from Aquarius into Pisces, then Aries this week. So with Aquarius, when the moon is in Aquarius, we're thinking about community, innovation, new ideas. Pisces moon is more intuitive, spiritual, compassion. And then we're going to round off the week with the moon being in Aries, which speaks of courage, independence, and taking fresh action. Now, this lunar movement creates a flow from collective vision to spiritual depth, bold new beginnings. We talked about the astrology piece of the week. Now we're rounding the corner to numerology. And in the numerology sense for the week, the energy is of the universal month number 1, because October is the 10th month of the year. And so 1 plus 0 equals 1. And so 1 is all about fresh starts and seeding new intentions. As a matter of fact, what goes on in October is kind of like a preview as to what's going to happen for you next year. Because remember, 1 is the beginning, right? And so when we're looking at what's happening with the energy in October, you can always bet that what you're feeling now, you'll probably be having more of come next year. And especially since we're going to be in a 1 year, 2026 is 2 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10. So 10, 1 plus 0, we're back to the 1, right? So we're in a 1 year next year. So the daily cycle this week, though, day 5, it's going to spark curiosity, maybe even some changes you're going to make in your life, or you may have to adapt to some changes. So day 6 is more or less about taking responsibility. The theme may be around love or nurturing, maybe even some self-care, taking care of things around the home, family, right? Because that's 6 energy. And day 7 is more or less tying into what the Pisces moon is going to be about. It's more about spiritual seeking. You're looking for that spiritual wisdom. You're going to probably do a lot of reflection, analyzing, right? 7s like to analyze. So when you're in that energy, you'll probably be reflecting and taking apart things that happened in the past. So what we're looking at as far as numerology sense for this week, it's all about learning, caring, and then stepping back to reflect. Alrighty, in the beginning, I mentioned about the Two of Spades being the ruling card for this week of the week 41. So the Two of Spades is also known as a card of partnership and cooperation. It emphasizes forming alliances, teamwork, finding strength, and shared effort. Now, of course, everything has a positive and negative aspect of it, right? Depending on where it falls for you on the spectrum. So if it's falling towards the more negative side, then you may be feeling stuck between conflicting paths, or maybe you're resisting compromising, or maybe you're resisting partnership with someone, or maybe you know that you've been going along, but going it alone, but it may be better to go with someone else, and you're kind of resisting that energy. So kind of look out for that, because that would be the shadow side of the Two of Spades this week. But combined with Libra's balancing energy, this card is going to highlight the importance of healthy partnerships regardless. So whether it's in your work or your personal life, that will be the theme of the week. So this week you should really ask yourself, am I Am I walking my path alone out of pride, or am I willing to build something stronger with another, right? Do a little introspection on that question this week and see where you land with that. Am- All right, and in each weekly video, I like to give you a weekly energy guidance and some journal prompts. So early in the week, you should lean more into community, right? Lean more into collaborations because Aquarius plus the two of spades encourages that type of energy, collaborations, partnerships. And in the middle of the week, Pisces will soften the conversation that you're having. And then it's going to also remind you to approach partnerships with compassion. Because during the Pisces moon, you're probably going to be a little more introspective and you're probably going to reflect on how you show up in your partnerships, right? In your relationships. Now, towards the weekend, things get turned up, y'all, right? Because this is where Aries comes into play, the Aries moon. And so it's going to fire up that independent side of things. But the two of spades still going to remind you to not isolate yourself, right? You need to kind of balance, right, that alone time with community. And you want to balance courage with cooperation, basically, here this week. And so the journal prompt of the week, knowing this energy now, is knowing this energy now is where in my life am I being invited to form stronger partnerships and how can I bring more balance to them, right? So reflect on that for this week. It's very strong because, as I mentioned, this week is all about partnerships and how to balance that nature of yourself where you're not pulling away or isolating yourself from others, but you're sharing, you're cooperating, you're collaborating. And towards the end of the week, as I said, with that Aries moon, it's going to encourage more independence, but you're going to figure out ways to incorporate your self time along with your time with you in your relationships and in your partnerships. So the theme for this week is balanced partnerships and steady growth under the influence of the two of spades. Collaborate where you can, nurture connections, and remember that cooperation doesn't weaken you, it actually makes you stronger. So if you like to go deeper, become a paid Substack member for early access to the weekly energy video. My members actually get this video on Sundays and also early access to my daily posts. And also I have my Numi AI, which is a great numerology virtual assistant, can answer very quick questions that you need about anything about numerology. Allow that to be your guide. And also, if you like to book a personal session with me, or you can explore our Divine Aligned candles and also our journals that are available for you to help you with daily alignment in your weekly ritual. My Divine Aligned candles and journals to keep you right grounded and have a ritual going aligned with the energy. My links are below. Stay radiant, stay aligned, and I'll see you next week.